I, 27F, am posting this from a throwaway account because I am too embarrassed to use my main. My regular account has all our wedding planning posts and photos, and I can't even look at those right now without feeling sick. I need advice because I honestly don't know if I can trust my own judgment anymore. Let me start from the beginning. I met Peter, 27M, during our final year of university through my roommate Kelly, 27F. Kelly was dating Peter's roommate at the time, and we all hung out in the same group. Peter and I clicked instantly. He was funny, charming, and seemed so genuine. We started dating a few months before graduation and moved to the same city to start our careers. The first 3 years were amazing. Peter got a job as a junior sales rep at a tech company and quickly moved up to sales manager. I became a nurse at the local hospital. We supported each other through the tough early years of our careers. When I had rough nights at the hospital, he would wait up for me with takeout. When he had big presentations, I helped him practice. We were a team. His family welcomed me like I was their own daughter. His mom Sarah, 55F, lost her daughter to cancer 10 years ago, so she was overjoyed to have me in her life. We would have weekly dinners at their house, and she taught me all her family recipes. His dad James, 57M, is quieter but always treated me with respect and kindness. My family loved Peter too. My brother Mike, 30M, and Peter became inseparable. They go fishing together every month and play in the same basketball league. My parents already consider him their son. 2 years ago, we bought our first house together. It needed work, but we were excited to make it our own. We adopted 2 rescue dogs, Max and Luna. Peter proposed last year during a trip to the beach. It was perfect, he had our families hiding nearby to surprise me after I said yes. We set the wedding date for this December and have been planning everything together. At least, that's what I thought. Last Friday changed everything. We went out for drinks with Peter's college friends Tom, 28M, and Lisa, 27F. Tom has known Peter since freshman year and they're still close. We were having a great time until Tom mentioned someone named Rachel. He was pretty drunk and started talking about the sales conference in Vegas last year. He kept saying how Peter and Rachel were always together, having private dinners, and going to each other's rooms to practice their presentations. I felt my stomach drop. Peter told me nothing about Rachel when he came back from that conference. He said he mostly attended sessions alone and networked at group events. When I looked at Peter, his face had gone white. He quickly changed the subject, but the damage was done. That night at home, I asked him about Rachel. He got defensive immediately, saying Tom was drunk and making things up. But his reaction told me everything. While he was in the shower next morning, I did something I've never done before, I checked his phone. My hands were shaking as I opened it. What I found made me physically sick. There were deleted messages with Rachel that I managed to recover through the backup. They weren't just friendly messages. They had been sleeping together the entire conference week. There were explicit photos, messages about sneaking to each other's rooms, and plans for future meetups. But that wasn't even the worst part. I found similar message threads with 2 other women. Jenny from his office, who he claimed was just a work friend he occasionally had lunch with. They had been having an affair for over a year. And Sarah from his gym, who he met last summer. He was seeing her during his supposed late-night workout sessions. When I confronted him with the evidence, he didn't even try to deny it. He broke down crying, saying he messed up and the other women meant nothing. He claimed he only cheated because he was stressed about work and our relationship was too comfortable. He begged me not to throw away 5 years over his mistakes. Said he would go to counseling, change jobs, anything to keep me. But how can I ever trust him again? Every memory of the past 5 years feels tainted now. All those work trips, late meetings, and gym sessions, was he with them? How many other women were there that I don't know about? He was planning our wedding while sleeping with other women. He let me spend months picking out venues and dresses while lying to my face. I packed some clothes and went to stay with my best friend Amy, 27F. She's the only person who knows everything right now. I haven't told my family because they adore Peter. My brother still hangs out with him regularly, completely unaware. Peter's mom keeps calling and texting, asking why I moved out temporarily. She thinks we just had a small fight. The wedding is in 6 months, and we've already paid for most things. Our families have booked flights and hotels. We have a house and dogs together. Our lives are completely intertwined. Do I blow everything up by telling the truth? Do I try to forgive him and move forward? Even if I wanted to try, how do I walk down the aisle knowing he betrayed me with multiple women? How do I trust that he won't do it again? Part of me wants to reach out to Rachel, Jenny, and Sarah. I want to know their side of the story. Did he tell them about me? Were there others? But another part of me is scared to learn more. What if finding out more details makes it impossible to ever move past this? I feel lost and broken. The man I thought I knew never existed. The future I planned is gone. I'm 27 and have to start over after spending my entire adult life with someone who repeatedly betrayed me. I haven't slept properly in days. I can barely eat. The thought of seeing our families and telling them everything makes me physically ill. I need objective advice. Am I crazy for even considering forgiveness? Should I contact the other women? How do I even begin to unravel our intertwined lives? Has anyone been through something similar and come out okay on the other side? Update 1 first, I want to thank everyone who commented on my original post. Your support and advice helped me find the strength to dig deeper instead of burying my head in the sand. A lot has happened in the past 2 weeks, and none of it is good. After reading comments suggesting I contact the other women, I decided to reach out to Rachel through LinkedIn. I sent her a simple message introducing myself as Peter's fiancé and asking if we could talk. Her response came within minutes, and it shattered what little was left of my world. Rachel was completely shocked to learn I existed. Peter had told her and everyone at his company that he was single. He said he owned his house alone and lived with his 2 dogs. The engagement ring I wore with pride? He told people it was just a family heirloom I liked wearing. Rachel felt terrible and immediately offered to tell me everything. We met for coffee last weekend. She brought screenshots, photos, and even hotel receipts. Their affair wasn't just during a Vegas conference like I initially thought. They had been seeing each other for 8 months. Peter would fly to her city claiming he had client meetings. She came to our city several times, and he put her up in hotels using his company card. They went on actual dates to restaurants and shows. While I was working night shifts at the hospital, he was playing house with another woman. The most painful part? Rachel said Peter often complained about being lonely and wanting to settle down. He even talked about wanting kids soon. All while I was at home planning our wedding and dreaming of our future family. When I confronted Peter with this new information, his reaction shocked me. Instead of being apologetic, he got angry. He yelled at me for going behind his back and contacting Rachel. Said I had no right to involve other people in our private business. Then he dropped another bombshell that made me question my entire reality. Jenny from his office wasn't just another affair. She had gotten pregnant 6 months ago. Peter paid for her abortion and never told me. Jenny had wanted to keep the baby, but Peter threatened to deny paternity if she did. He finally admitted this only because Jenny had been messaging him lately, threatening to tell me everything. I spent that night crying in my car, parked outside our house. The man I loved had gotten another woman pregnant while planning our wedding. He had pressured her into an abortion to keep his secret. Who was this monster I had spent 5 years with? The next morning, I finally broke down and told my family everything. My mom cried. My dad couldn't even speak, he was so angry. My brother Mike's reaction was the worst. He and Peter had gone fishing just last weekend. When Mike learned the truth, he drove straight to Peter's office and punched him in the parking lot. They had to be separated by security. Now Mike is facing potential assault charges because my cheating fiancé pressed charges against him. Peter's family found out too. His mom Sarah showed up at Amy's house where I was staying. She was crying, saying Peter was just going through a difficult phase. She said all men make mistakes and I should be more understanding. When I brought up Jenny's pregnancy, she said I should be grateful Peter handled it so it wouldn't embarrass me. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. They were more worried about appearances than the fact that her son had destroyed multiple lives. The final blow came yesterday. Jenny found me on Facebook and sent me a long message with screenshots of her conversations with Peter. In them, Peter was cruel and dismissive about me. He called me controlling and boring. Said I was bad in bed and he only proposed because his family kept pressuring him about marriage. He told Jenny he was planning to keep me around for stability while continuing to see other women after marriage. That was my breaking point. While Peter was at work today, I went to our house with my brother and some friends. We packed all my stuff and the dog's things. I left my engagement ring on the kitchen counter with a note that said we're done. I blocked his number and all his social media. The aftermath has been chaos. Peter's mom is calling everyone in my family begging them to talk sense into me. His dad even offered to pay for couples counseling. Peter showed up at the hospital during my shift, causing such a scene that security had to remove him. He's been sending endless emails from different addresses since I blocked his number. I've contacted a lawyer about the house and other joint assets. I also reached out to Peter's company's HR department with proof he used company funds for his affairs. I know it sounds vindictive, but he used our joint savings to pay for hotels with other women. I want him to face consequences for once in his life. Tonight I'm staying at my parents' house, cuddled up with Max and Luna. I have no idea what tomorrow brings, but I know I made the right choice. The wedding is officially cancelled. I'll deal with the financial fallout later. Right now I just need to focus on healing. I'll update again when there are more developments. Thanks again for all the support. It really helped me find the strength to walk away instead of accepting his lies. Update 2. I wish I could say things have gotten better since my last update, but the situation has only gotten messier. The past 2 months have been a roller coaster of revelations, harassment, and shocking discoveries about who Peter really is. After I moved out and canceled the wedding, Peter went into overdrive trying to get me back. He shows up at the hospital almost daily with flowers or gifts, despite the restraining order I filed. Last week, security had to remove him again when he tried to follow me to my car after my shift. His mom Sarah still calls me from different numbers since I blocked her. She even showed up at my parents' house twice, crying about how I'm destroying her son's life. Yesterday, I finally found out why they're so desperate for me to come back. One of Peter's coworkers reached out to me through LinkedIn. Turns out, Peter wasn't just using his company card for hotel rooms with Rachel and Jenny. He had been embezzling money from his company for over a year. He created fake client accounts and expense reports to funnel money into his personal account. He used this money to buy expensive gifts for his girlfriends, designer bags, jewelry, even a car for Rachel. The company discovered the theft during a routine audit. They fired him immediately and are pressing criminal charges. The amount he stole is over $100,000. When they investigated his company email, they found evidence of him pursuing and harassing multiple female employees. 3 women have filed sexual harassment complaints against him. This explains why he's so desperate to keep me around. Without his job, he can't afford the mortgage payments on our house. His credit cards are maxed out from spending on his affairs. His mom can't help because she co-signed his car loan last year and his recent unemployment means those payments are falling behind too. They want me to come back so I can help pay his debts and possibly testify as a character witness if this goes to court. The absolute audacity of these people astounds me. Peter cheated on me for years with multiple women, spent our joint savings on his affairs, stole from his company, harassed his co-workers, and now wants me to bail him out? His mom had the nerve to suggest I take out a loan to help pay his legal fees because that's what family does. I contacted my lawyer immediately with this new information. We're fighting to get my name off the mortgage and other joint accounts. Peter already raided our joint savings before I could freeze the account. He claims he needed it for legal fees, but his mom let slip that he used it to pay back Rachel for some designer stuff she returned. The extent of his lies is still unfolding. Remember how he claimed Jenny had a miscarriage? Another lie. She reached out again to tell me she never was pregnant. Peter made up that story when I found their messages to gain sympathy and make me feel bad for her. Jenny apologized for not telling me the truth sooner but said Peter had threatened to reveal compromising photos of her if she contacted me. His friend Tom finally came clean too. Peter had been cheating since the first year of our relationship. The only reason Tom mentioned Rachel at the bar that night was because he thought Peter had finally told me everything. Apparently, Peter used to brag about how easy it was to fool me because I worked nights and trusted him completely. I'm working with my lawyer to protect myself financially. The house will probably go into foreclosure since Peter can't make payments. My lawyer is trying to ensure my credit doesn't get ruined in the process. I've started therapy to deal with all this trauma. Some days I still can't believe how thoroughly he deceived everyone. My brother Mike's assault charges were dropped after Peter's company shenanigans came to light. Peter had bigger legal problems to worry about. Mike still wants to, in his words, finish what he started, but I've convinced him to let karma handle it. Right now, I'm focusing on rebuilding my life. I'm looking for a new job in a different city. I need a fresh start away from all this drama. Max and Luna are doing well and keeping me sane through all this. At least I got the dogs in this mess. I'll update again if anything major happens, but I think this story is reaching its natural conclusion. Peter made his bed, now he can lie in it. Alone. Update 3. I almost forgot about this account until someone messaged me asking for an update. A lot has changed in the past 6 months, mostly for the better. First, the house situation finally resolved itself. Peter couldn't make the payments, so it went into foreclosure. My lawyer managed to protect my credit score and get my name off all joint accounts. I lost some money in the process, but I consider it the price of freedom. The dogs and I moved to Boston for a fresh start. I got a better paying job at a major hospital here and bought a small condo that I love. Peter's life, on the other hand, has completely fallen apart. The company pressed charges for the embezzlement. He took a plea deal last month, 2 years in prison, and has to pay back everything he stole. His fancy car got repossessed, and he had to move back in with his parents. The irony? Rachel is now dating his best friend Tom. Apparently, They got close when she was helping the company build their case against Peter. His mom still tries to contact me through mutual friends, claiming Peter needs my support now more than ever. I blocked everyone who tries to pass on her messages. Some interesting revelations came out during the legal proceedings. Peter had been stealing from the company almost since he started working there. The total amount was closer to $200,000, not $100,000 like initially thought. He spent most of it on his various girlfriends and gambling. Remember Jenny from his office? Turns out she wasn't the only coworker he harassed. 5 women in total came forward with complaints. 2 of them had recordings of him threatening their jobs if they didn't sleep with him. My brother Mike and I are closer than ever now. He helped me move to Boston and visits often. He apologized countless times for ever being friends with Peter, but I told him Peter fooled everyone. Mike is getting married next year to his longtime girlfriend, and I'm his best woman. A much better wedding to look forward to. I ran into Sarah, Peter's mom, at the grocery store when I went home for Thanksgiving. She tried to corner me and show me letters Peter wrote from jail. I just walked away. The next day she left a long voicemail about how I abandoned her son when he needed me most and how could I be so heartless. I sent the recording to my lawyer who reminded her about the no contact order. As for me, I'm doing better than I ever expected. Moving to a new city was exactly what I needed. I've made new friends through work and a local dog park group. Max and Luna love our new place, especially since it's right next to a big park. I'm casually dating someone I met through work, but I'm taking things very slowly. My therapist says that's healthy. Looking back, finding out about Peter's cheating was the best thing that could have happened to me. Yes, I lost 5 years and some money. But I gained something much more valuable, my self-respect and a chance at a genuine, honest relationship in the future. To everyone who supported me through this journey, thank you. To anyone going through something similar, it gets better. Sometimes the worst endings lead to the best beginnings. This will be my final update. This chapter of my life is closed, and I'm looking forward to writing new ones. Max, Luna, and I are going to be just fine.